What's up, everybody? My name is Vince Perry, and I'm the Commercial Claims Advocate. And we provide courses and training and coaching to public adjusters, contractors, and insurance attorneys throughout the country so that we could help educate them, develop their processes throughout the insurance claim, and really take their processes and claims process to the next level. Today, we're doing a case study with Jeromy Lavelle. Jeromy Lavelle is the owner of Remedy Claims Consulting. He's been a public adjuster for about 2 years, but before he was a public adjuster, he was actually an independent adjuster for 9 years. And once he made this switch, the first thing he did was take our course and become part of the Advocates group. And as a result of that, you're going to see that he basically was able to not double, not triple, but quadruple his income just by taking our course, because ultimately what he realized that by understanding the process and getting the claims through and getting them paid faster, he was able to ultimately increase his bottom line, increase his revenue so that he can now bring on more adjusters, hire more staff, and open different offices throughout the Texas area. So it's a pretty amazing story that you're about to hear. I hope you enjoy it, but make sure that you watch it to the end and stay tuned, because I'm going to come back on and I'm going to tell you about a special offer that we have, and so that you could book a call, so you could come join our Advocates group, take our course, and really take your career to the next level. So we'll see you then. Summarize, I guess, in general, since you took the course and since you've been working with me and with our team and in the Facebook group, just tell us in general some of your results and some of the changes.
Well, to kind of give you a 30,000 foot view, is really the best way to start. When I first became a PA, I had an extensive knowledge of the claims process. What I didn't know how to do is how to be a PA. Now, while I could read policy and I could write an estimate and I knew how to take photos, what I didn't know is how to be a PA. And how to be a PA is very, very different than being a field adjuster. And it's very different than being a desk adjuster. It's different than being a QC manager. It's really different because of the advocacy that comes with it is what you have to learn how to do that is not quite so, that's not taught to you in other arenas, is that these people are in a desperate situation, and desperate people often don't make any sense whatsoever, because with devastation comes desperation. And what you do as a PA is you bring a calm and a peace to the situation so that we can identify exactly what it is that we're going to go after. Then if you want to get into the minutia of it, whether it's writing letters or what you have a right to and all that kind of stuff, sure, you're going to find all of that stuff out. But what the course arms you with is the tools to be able to step into a situation and be an expert in the claims process. It doesn't matter if you know how to handle a fire. What you need to know how to do is handle the claims process. So don't get bogged down in the loss. Understand what the process is. And if you become an advocate, that is what you learn to master, is the claims process.
Woo! And that's how we're going to get started. I couldn't say it any better myself. What's up, everybody? My name is Vince Perry. I am the Commercial Claims Advocate, and I am here with one of our successful clients and what I would consider now a personal friend in the insurance claims business. His name is Jeromy Lavelle. Jeromy is the owner of Remedy Claims Consulting, and the beauty about Jeromy is Jeromy was actually an independent adjuster on the other side, being sent out by the insurance company to evaluate losses for 9 years before he finally made the switch over to become a public adjuster. And approximately 2 years ago, after becoming a public adjuster, he took our course, basically became one of our clients. And now I believe he's taken his career sort of to the next level, right? Jeromy, what's up, man? Thank you for joining us.
Vince, thank you so much for having me. I am really, really excited to be a part of this.
So before we really get started, if you don't mind, tell us a little bit about yourself, about your background, and about your company.
So I worked in the in independent adjusting for about 9 years. Well, anybody who's been an independent adjuster knows it's kind of a feast or famine thing. And so you're kind of stuck working when there's work. So when they call up, hey, the phone's ringing, are you available to go to this storm? You don't say no. You get up and you go. And it's this all-consuming kind of part of your life, and you try to figure things out, and you get out in the hustle and bustle of things, and you've got all of these things that are coming at you. And you go out, you write your claims, and the pressure is immense as a claims adjuster in a catastrophe. But I worked like that for a long time. And even I'll never forget the first time that I walked up to somebody on my very first claim ever. And I said, look, ma'am, I realize that this is a bad situation, but the biggest thing we need right now is to get you some peace, because all of this other stuff can be fixed.
Yeah.
I got to work on you.
I hear it all the time. The overload of work that you get, especially after a catastrophe, and how many hours you have to put in and setting up that ladder, climbing up that ladder, walking that roof, climbing down, putting down the ladder, going on to the next house, setting up that ladder again, climbing up, putting it down. And ultimately the money is good. I know. But when you really think about it though, the money is really only good when you're working those 18-hour days, going up and down up into those roofs, and then having to come back home to your crappy hotel room, right? And then have to put all of these reports together.
I think crappy hotel rooms in most insurance companies' guidelines, to be honest with you, because they're not going to help you stay anywhere. And so that's really the hard thing, is there's very little support out of the people that are driving you so hard. I remember sitting in my hotel room with my face buried in my hands going, I don't know how to estimate this. I need to get a hold of somebody. And there's just no answers. There's no answers for you. And so you're left to your own devices trying to figure it out. And it's miserable. It's absolutely miserable.
So now you're a public adjuster. You joined our team. What was the problem you had prior to joining our program?
I really just didn't know what to do. I just tried to approach it the same way I did as an independent adjuster. So I would turn in my Xactimate estimate with my photo journal and a little blog about what I found was wrong. And then lo and behold, none of my claims were getting approved. Right. None of them. And I was like, what is going on here? And nobody would listen to me. Nobody would talk to me. And I just didn't know where any of the pressure points were. I didn't know.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know about all the behind the scenes stuff. And it's an issue that we have even with some of our adjusters that we have on our team who were former IAs. And they're just like, I feel so experienced, but inexperienced at the same time, just because of the different set of eyes that you really have to look at the claim at.
The reality is what you have to realize as a public adjuster is you're working way up the food chain. Mm-hmm. The claim becomes a much more living, breathing thing prior to the embryonic status that it's in when a field adjuster shows up.
Very good way of saying it. That's the best way I've ever heard it said. It's true, because it is like our baby from beginning to end. We really see that thing out all the way through, which is what we try to do for you guys. We try to help you guys see the whole thing from beginning to end, make sure we break every single part down. And ultimately, what I'm really trying to stress with everybody is just the importance of process, knowing where to go at a particular time in a claim. And it could be 4 different directions, but at least understand these are the 4 different directions that I can go. And depending on usually the particular claim is where you sort of end up.
Right. And so because each claim has its own, it's kind of, it's like it's got its own, more than an identity, it's got its own identity marker. You know what I mean? It's this thing that you go, okay, this is the pushing point in this claim. Mm-hmm. Whether it's the reason that they've denied it and you believe that it should have been covered, whether it's, a material question, it's a pushing point in the claim. And that pushing point is generally the thing that makes the client feel indemnified, because indemnity can only be defined by one person, and that's the person that suffered the loss. Nobody else can identify that. And the policy exists so that that person can feel indemnified. Now, if you've got a policy that doesn't cover you, like an ACV policy on your roof, that's all the indemnity that you asked for. It's not a full indemnity, but this is the indemnity that you requested. There is no public adjuster out there that can get around your policy. And to be honest with you, I am what I like to call a defender of the policy.
I love it. I love it. To get back on track, because you and I can go on forever.
I know. I'm sorry. Thank God for editing.
Why our program in particular? Why did you go our route?
Well, I'm not going to lie to you. Your notoriety was something to do with it. Your YouTube and your podcasts and just the little golden nuggets that I've mined out of those things were really, really helpful. And then I get to spend 2 days with this joker. Absolutely sign me up.
Awesome. Awesome.
And at the time, we're still slugging it out with the coronavirus. I mean, we all got bloody knuckles over this thing that we're dealing with. And it's not like I can just show up and go, hey, Vince, can I follow you around for a week? Because nobody could follow anybody around. And so it was also a timing issue. And when we all kind of had to make that digital pivot to figure out how we were going to handle our claims moving forward, I mean, Corona was a changer. You know what I'm saying? It changed it. It changed how we do things. And so, not to get on a big long soapbox, it was a timing issue. And I had heard some of the really good nuggets that had come out of just your podcast and YouTube channel. I was like, I got to sit down with this guy. I just got to pick this guy's brain. And lo and behold, there was a cover charge, and I was happy to pay it because I was like, I'm going to get all my questions answered. And moreover, if I have questions afterwards, I can go to the group. And I've gone to the group several times. And trust me, questions don't stop with how do I estimate this or how do I photograph that? It's like, Vince, are you aware that they make us charge sales tax in Texas?
Right.
The business end of it.
I tell people all the time, the beauty about what I've been able to do with this is the learning that I've gotten from everyone else. Because everyone has little tidbits that they learn. And then now when we're part of this sort of like inner circle group, we're able to share all this information. You could come to me or you could come to the group and say, hey guys, by the way, I heard about this, beware of this. Or, hey, I heard about this, we should try this. And it's just like just a meeting of the masterminds to really share all the information because you know as much as I do, they're all getting together on the other side. It's only right for us to get together on this side.
Oh, sure. Yeah. There's national phone calls. There's all kinds of things that they're doing on a carrier to carrier basis. But I mean, if you think they're not all talking and discussing how they're going to go about claims handling practices, don't kid yourself. Allstate's talking to State Farm Farm's talking to Liberty Mutual is talking to Chubb. Everybody's talking to everybody. And so, I mean, they're going for consistency. We damn sure better be going for it.
Was there anything in particular about the program that really helped you, and why was it so effective?
Yes, there was something that was very, I'm glad you have editing because I had it in my head and then my brain left me.
We don't edit nothing. We are raw and authentic.
Raw and uncut. Okay, cool. We'll go with that then. The biggest thing that I realized when once I got into the course was, man, I wish I could think of that way. I'll just go. The biggest thing that I realized in the course was that there was a process. There was a process that we could use. Your attention is divided in so many ways. Oh, the biggest thing that I found is how to manage my time. Because you don't have a staff anymore unless you go hire one. But working as a PA by yourself, please give yourself a second and realize that you're one person. You have to have help. And it's okay to call on some of these people like Mario. It's okay to call on some of these people like Rico, because Rico's going to sit and tell you how to promote your business. He's also really good at mitigation and the 19 other companies the guy owns. That he's so much fun to listen to and talk to. But on top of that, it's realizing that there are these experts that you get access to when you have a question. And every one of them I've texted: Mario, Rico, David Farber. He's worked a couple of files. We've sent files to litigation. I had no attorney. None.
That's awesome.
And it's resource. That is the biggest thing that I pulled from this course, that, oh my gosh, it pays dividends every day.
I call them game changers. Dan Sullivan, he's a business coach, and he's got all these really cool little books that I've got here, and he talks about game changers and surrounding yourself with game changers and how to become a game changer yourself. And he talks about you become a game changer. And what are game changers? Game changers are people who are very ambitious, risk takers, determined to succeed. You know, all these things. And to become one, the second you start surrounding yourself with them, you know how they always say, you are the person you surround yourself with. The second you start, which is what I love about our program, is that I'm able to introduce you guys to the people that I have been working with for the last 14 years. David Farben, I've been working with for like 12 or 13. Mario Rios for about 10. Rico Garcia for about 4 or 5. You know, it's not just I've just met these guys off the street. Like, I have worked claims with them. I have developed bonds with them. And now to bring them in to help people who are just starting out to automatically basically have that same relationship that I have with them like that, it's a beautiful thing.
And they're in the thick of it. And and when you become an advocate, that's got some weight. I'm telling you, because if they know you're an advocate, they're going to take your call. They're going to return your text.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Because they know how valuable this network is. And it's like, and we are, and I like to think of us as the cream of the crop. There's a lot of pages you could go get on. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of ones out there. I'm not going to mention which ones they are, but they are great resources for some really bad advice.
And I want to be clear, when you say advocate, you are talking about our group. You are
our
talking
group,
about our people.
Our group. I envision this thing being a national convention. It's where we have 4,000, 5,000, 10,000 people show up. You know what I'm saying? And we go and we become this unified force in the claims industry. Because what's happening right now is a travesty. It's criminal, in my opinion. I didn't get into this for the money. I got into it because of my moral imperative.
Yeah, when you're the IA, you think that you're helping people, but when you start to get your estimate chopped up like a Ginsu knife, and you're the one that was out there, and you get to a point where you almost feel hopeless. It's like, why am I doing this?
Well, and I had, even prior to becoming a public adjuster, I'd sat in plenty of depositions as an independent adjuster because of the hurricanes that we work. Irma is the most common one that I've sat in depositions for. Mm-hmm. And they'll ask me, like the opposing counsel will ask me, why did you not approve this roof? Why did you not? Why did you not? Why did you not? And my answer always is I did. I did approve it.
Right. Well, don't worry. You are an advocate now. You are for the people.
Thank God.
All right. This is going to be the longest case study, but I love it. It's such good stuff. I can't wait for people to listen to this. As a result of implementing the program, as a result of becoming an advocate, as a result of taking our course, being part of our group, what has been the outcome?
Our revenue last year, we're doing taxes. So this is really good. I just want to explain to people kind of the timeline here. I took the course last May. Okay. So we were well into Q2. Our revenue tripled over the year before. We are on pace now because of this course to quadruple last year easily.
That's it right there. That is, that's what people want to hear. That's intense.
That's not just dollars in the pocket. That's people helped. Because for every dollar that goes into my pocket, 9 goes into my clients.
Right. Exactly. That's awesome, Jeromy. Wow. And that leads me to my next question. How has your life changed after achieving this outcome?
Oh, golly. Well, since then, we opened up offices. We're in the heartbeat of Dallas, Texas. Awesome. We've added adjusters. We have an entire workflow. We've got just our separational workflow from a team of claims coordinators that help us kind of keep things moving to public adjusters who deal with, the bloody knuckles of it all. We get to train and raise them up. Our claims coordinators are basically PAs in training. Most of them are looking forward to becoming a PA themselves, so it's a great training ground. They get to make money while they're at it. I've got one that's going to have to go to the course. I was on the phone with her when you text me and I was like, you've got to go to this course, this thing. And it's like, I'm not paying for it for you either. And it's like, you need to go invest in your own career because it is, let me put it this way. For every dollar you spend on this, you're putting 9,000 in your pocket. And that's not hyperbole. It's probably low.
I'm getting chills listening. You got to be a preacher, Jeromy. Holy moly. Praise Jesus. This is good stuff. I'm getting chills, man, just listening to you. That's awesome. Jeromy, honestly, I mean, like, I'm humbled, honestly, by the results that you've gotten. And I'm very excited to just continue to grow our relationship, but I'm not done yet.
Oh, wow.
Where do you think you would be right now if you did not take action and join our program?
Working for a carrier.
Well, no, because let's be honest, you were a public adjuster. You weren't working with the carrier when you took the course, when you joined our program. Honestly, where do you think you would be right now and I could almost answer it for you because you were looking at claims from an IA's eyes instead of a PA's eyes. So I'll give you a little hint there. But where would you be right now, if you didn't take the course and sort of get an understanding of, oh, wait, this is how it's done?
That's really what it is I would still be struggling and it would all have been, I would have been stuck in a trial and error cycle is what I like to call that. Well, this worked this time. But the next time I tried it, it didn't work. Well, why? What was the difference? And so it answers a lot of those questions up front. Do you know what I mean? The other thing, I mean, I can't say this is I had handled a couple of claims. Okay. I'd handled a couple of claims. I had a $12,000 claim. My very first PA claim was $12,000 by my estimate. It took me over a year to settle because I didn't know how to deal with the desk adjuster.
Oh, no.
I'm just telling you the truth. I've got no magic bullet here.
Right. Yeah, that's the way I look at it. And not to say anything, but 14 years of trial and error, by the way, before I was able finally to just get everything on pen and paper, put everything down here. This is where it has to go. This is what has to be done. And then sort of light bulb went off in my head because I realized that there wasn't anything out there. And I'm like, well, let's just, show everybody and I ultimately did it too, because I had somebody that helped me with the process as well when I first started as a sounding board, but the actual putting that process in place. Yeah. The trial and error situation, it's rough. It just takes that much longer to become successful in this industry. Well,
and then, and so on behalf of the rest of us, I would like to say, thanks for taking one for the team, buddy.
Yeah.
So it has been without a doubt the single most valuable way that I've invested my time. It has paid bigger dividends. It's the Bitcoin of adjusting. You know what I'm saying? It just pays dividends like crazy. And
all right.
I don't know what else to say.
Final question. I can't wait to hear you answer this one. If there's anyone watching that's on the fence about joining our program, what would you say to them?
Well, I would ask them a question. It's like, what's your goal? What's your goal? And if your goal is what it should be, which would be to help people. I mean, I think that's why we all get into it. Whether it's not necessarily a right to be wronged, but it's providing assistance to people who otherwise don't understand the process. If your goal is really to help people, then this is your opportunity to really step in and provide some calm and peace in an otherwise very turbulent situation. And you can come in and they can go back to work and they can get back to dance recitals and time with their children and dinners at home and all of those kinds of things. And it allows them to regain some level of normalcy in their life while you, the expert, the advocate, is working hard on their behalf. And the look on their face when their claim went from $1,200 to $192,000, true story. $12,000 from $1,200 to $192,000.
Yeah, I just settled one now under deductible for $43.
I just settled. I got one today that was under deductible for $50. Yeah, I mean, that's daily. That's daily.
Yeah.
And some of these, just learning how to put your file together. You know what I mean? When you learn when you really learn the documentation you have to have as a PA, not as an IA, but as a PA, when you learn that documentation, I've had claims that they didn't even call me. They just sent a check. And that was State Farm. For all you people who struggle with State Farm.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's the way it is. That's what it's all about. Documentation, putting it all together, presenting it to the carrier in a timely notice, following up with the carrier, because I'll never forget the adjuster that told me, I'm like, dude, why do you have all these claims still open? He's like, well, I just figured they'd get settled eventually. I'm like, no. That's not how it works. If we don't nag and nag and nag, that's not going to happen.
And I want to relieve some pressure when you're switching over. You're not working 40 and 50 and 60 PA files. I mean, I don't work more than about 7 or 8 at a time. That's just on my personal desk, me helping people. I only work about 7 or 8 at a time. Remember, just realize when your desk gets full. And that's the biggest piece of advice I can give you, because if you're too busy and spread thin, you're no good to anybody. Just realize what you can handle. Understand how much it takes to actually work a claim.
If and when you're ready to hire more, I want you to come to me, Jeromy, because I could pretty much probably come up with a course on how to hire the right person.
Oh man, we're looking for people. I just have a hard time finding talent.
Let's talk off camera. I'm going to give you some advice right now.
Okay, good deal.
Jeromy, that was chilling. That was, what do they call it? Hair raising. That was goosebumps. Honestly, I'm not being sarcastic. I literally got goosebumps from the passion that you brought there and the results that you got from being a part of our program. And honestly, don't tell anybody, but you're one of my favorites.
I won't tell anybody. I promise.
But seriously though, like just when it makes everything worthwhile, because I put a lot of work into this on the back end. I'm always constantly trying to be there, trying to provide value. Believe it or not, I don't like to be in front of the camera. I've always liked photography. I like to be behind the camera, but this has sort of put me in this situation. I have to be in front of the camera. So when people come to me, even the little messages I get on Instagram and social media, but when you bring the passion like that and you tell me about genuine, hardcore dollar amount, actual literal results, it really makes everything and all the work that I put into it worthwhile. So I want to thank you for that. I want to thank you for coming on and taking the time to do this and to really ultimately share your experience with hopefully some potential people who will come on board and become part of our advocates.
I hope so too. I look forward to seeing you on the advocate page. Again, my number is published. If you can't get a hold of Vince, call me. I mean, and if I don't know the answer, I'll let you know. But anything I know, please pick up the phone and call me. I take calls all the time. And it's one of my favorite things to do is help new adjusters kind of find their footing.
Awesome. Thank you, Jeromy.
You're welcome. Good talking to you, Vince.
If you are interested too of becoming part of Advocates United and becoming part of our group and taking one of our courses, I want you to click on the link below and I want you to schedule a call with either myself or one of our associates, and we can really explain to you in detail everything that comes with being a part of our group. I'm telling you, investing in your knowledge is really priceless. You need to be able to do it if you really want to take it to the next level, because you could only do so much yourself, and you want to try to avoid a lot of the mistakes that you're probably going to make, a lot of the mistakes that I made, and you will avoid those things by joining one of our groups. So click the link below, schedule a call with either myself or one of our associates, and I will explain exactly how we can take your game to the next level. So speak to you soon.